How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to New Mexico State Men's Basketball News. I'm Marshall. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the schedule being released. I believe I announced it in some previous videos that people were asking about when the schedule was going to come out, and I was assuming it would come out pretty soon since the women's basketball schedule came out not too long ago, earlier this month, and the men's schedule just came out. I believe last year it came out like end of September. Now it's like middle of September it came out. Came out yesterday, the 16th. Today's the 17th. Came out a little bit after I got out of class, so I made some posts about it on my social media accounts. Again, go check those out if you haven't already. Give it a follow. That'd be really greatly appreciated. The conference schedule has been out since about June, I believe, so that's been out for a minute. But now we have the whole schedule, a lot more teams that we're playing. Kind of going to discuss some of the opponents, not every single opponent, because this video would be super long if we did that. And we already discussed some opponents like Texas, Dayton, UNLV. We play Utah Tech in our first road game on November 9th. It's just a Saturday. So that'll be a great test for us to see how we do on the road, because they're not that great of a team, but we haven't been, that great on the road the past couple of years. So hopefully we can just prove to put ourselves in position to be successful and maybe start off the season with a 2-0 record with that win, because we should be able to win the first game of the season, because yes, we are playing against Division II opponent New Mexico Highlands. I believe they also play against Arizona before they play against us, so they're going to have their I'd say their money's worth, because I don't know if we're paying them or if Arizona's going to pay them what's going to go on with that. But definitely going to be playing against some elite competition. We also play against Western New Mexico in an exhibition game on October 28th. And I'm not 100% sure if we're going to have a crimson versus white scrimmage. I know a couple years ago we did. I wasn't able to go to it because I was in El Paso for some things. But I had a bunch of friends that were able to go and get some things signed. They enjoyed it a lot. We didn't have one last year. I was talking to Keelan Dorsey, as you guys know, one of my good friends from the team last year. He was just saying that coach wanted to just get everything ready, for the season, coming off, the horrendous season the year prior, to rebuild the program and everything. So I'll let you guys know if there's a chance that we do have that crimson versus white game, or whatever, something like that. I think that's what it's called. Because I think they usually have it every year, just didn't have it last year, which makes sense. But hopefully we can have it again this year or sometime soon. It's also funny because we play against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. I used to live in Corpus Christi, so let's say I lived there and never moved from there. There's a chance I could have gone to school there, possibly. Would have been in-state tuition in Texas, and I wouldn't say it's a cheaper school, but it's a cheaper school in Texas for sure. It's a little bit of a smaller school. I believe in the Southland Conference or something like that. And they're usually a pretty decent team in their conference, usually top of the notch. We play them at home, and I feel like our home schedule isn't the greatest, as terms of elite, teams that we play. A lot of teams I think we do play at home, we should be able to win. 3 of them being non-D1 opponents, because the Western game's an exhibition, so that doesn't count towards the record. But Highlands, and we play against University of Southwest and Northern New Mexico, which are all 3 teams that we beat last year, at home except for Highlands, playing against Western instead. We did play against Highlands a couple years ago in our first game. We also had an exhibition against Western a couple years ago as well. Also had a game that Saturday. So hopefully it's kind of like the repeat of that schedule, and we all know what went down that season. So I know it's not going to be the same thing, but I thought that was kind of funny. Obviously, we don't play UTEP until conference starts, so it's going to be a little bit later like it was last year. Last year was the first time that happened. Only playing against UNM once this year on December 7th. It's kind of weird in the schedule because it's kind of hard to tell, because it's I don't know how to describe it, but if you look at the schedule, it's kind of hard to see because of the way it's outlined. I think Christian Cook was the player that they used for the schedule. I think his jersey kind of gets on that part where it says that we play against UNM, because I posted on Twitter about the schedule, and one of the guys was confused, saying that, we don't play UNM, but we do. It's just kind of hard to see. Only played them once, unfortunately, which was actually the first video I made when I started making these style videos, giving you guys Aggie basketball content. Played them once on December 7th on the road, and I'm hoping I'm able to go to that game with Jacob, some other friends possibly. It'll be a great experience. Obviously, UNM's a rival, so I hate UNM, screw them. But they do have a really nice basketball arena. Pretty nice school in general, pretty nice campus. But everything else about them, like their sports and all that, we're obviously going to hate on. Really bad area. It's in Albuquerque. No one loves Albuquerque. It's just a really dangerous place. I'm not trying to talk crap on them, but they are a rival, so we can't really say too many good things about them. It's kind of funny because, another rival of ours is UTEP, and we've actually talked about, or not talked, but I think Barstool always posts something about how, us and UTEP, even though we're rivals, we all, at the end of the day, agree that we both hate UNM. Already talked about, like I said, a lot of the opponents that we're playing against Pepperdine, Weber State, playing against them in the Arizona tip-off. We also play against Abilene Christian at home, which is a former WAC opponent, a team that I believe that we can beat. I don't think we played them 2 years ago. I think that was before the season got canceled. We might have played them once on the road. I can't remember to be exact, but playing some WAC teams, so then Utah as well, Utah Tech, like I mentioned. Trying to, those are, the main home teams we play. Then obviously, how our conference is. New team in conference, Kennesaw State, so we'll have 18 conference games. Looking at our schedule, I think we can get about 18 to 19 wins. I think that's a pretty respectable prediction. I don't want to go on a rampage and say that we're going to win like 20 plus and make the tournament. I mean, obviously that'd be great. Is it possible? Yeah, for sure. I'm still trying to slow into it because we still are technically rebuilding. But I think we have a much better team than last year, like I mentioned in multiple videos. 4 great returners. And many great new players. I think Carl Sherifont's going to be a guy that surprises a lot of people. He was a top player in high school, wasn't able to show out too much at Memphis, but hopefully he's given a better opportunity under Coach Huden and New Mexico State and Conference USA. Deontay Bosque is a guy, like I said, I've talked about multiple times. I think he's going to be a great player. I love his game. I've actually talked to him a couple times now in person. Within the past week, I've said what's out to him. Really chill dude. Zoddy Jackson's going to be a great scorer for us off the bench, I believe, unless he starts, which is definitely a possibility. I think Peter Filipovic is going to be really solid. Just can't wait for this team. They definitely have a great chance at being a top team in Conference USA. I'd be surprised if they finish out of the top 5. If I had to make a prediction as of now, I don't know how all the teams look, but I would say they get, 3rd or 4th. I think that's, again, pretty respectable. I think Western Kentucky's going to be really good. They're just coming off that conference, or conference championship win and then making the tournament. Liberty will probably be pretty solid. LA Tech, I'm assuming we good. Sam Houston's always good. And then us, obviously. So I think those 5 teams will probably be up there for sure. Not sure how UTEP's looking, but I feel like we're just going to split with them. I feel like we always split with them. They usually can't always sweep us. So I don't think, I think if there's a sweep that happens, I think we'll sweep them. But if I had to guess, I would say it splits regardless. The UNM game is going to be really hard to say. I feel like if we're at home, I would definitely say we're going to win. Since we're on the road, it will be a close game, I believe. I think we got a little bit better. They got a little bit worse, but they're still a really elite team. Still going to be one of the top teams in the Mountain West. Like I said, game going either way. Might be biased, but I'm just going with us winning that game too. That'd be great. Like I said earlier, playing teams like Texas, Dayton, and UNLV. Not really expecting us to win any of those games. Maybe for to get one and then maybe be UNLV because that's probably the weaker team out of the 3. But it'd be great just for us to match up against them and help us improve for conference play. I want to piggyback earlier. I was talking about Barstool, and I'm not 100% sure if I know who he is. I've been trying to kind of figure it out. There's this dude in my class. I'm not going to name his name because technically Barstool is supposed to be a secret. Like, no one's supposed to know who he is. I haven't found it's him because they talk similar. Like, obviously, I don't know how whoever Barstool is, I don't know how he actually talks, but the way this guy was talking, kind of the same way Barstool writes in his posts and stuff, had some, there's similarities. I don't go too much in detail, like I said, but he knows some people that have told me that they know Barstool, if that makes sense. There's a lot more I could explain, but I don't want to give out too much information and expose anybody. And there's, it's like a 50-50 chance. He for sure at least knows who Barstool is, though. No doubt in my mind. One thing I will say about the home schedule, or just the schedule in general that I never like, is the past 3 years since I've been here. I don't know if it's always been like this, but there's always like a whole bunch of home games during Christmas break when not a lot of students can go, obviously, because not a lot of the students that go to school here are from cruises. There are a decent amount, obviously, but if you guys watch those games, you'll see most of the time the student section during those breaks are dead. We have literally 5 straight home games during Christmas break, where I can probably only go to the first one against Southern Utah. Maybe I can stay for the second one against the Southwest, or University of Southwest, I believe who it is, or Northern New Mexico, one of those teams. But those last 3 are all like right around Christmas, New Year, so I'm not gonna be able to go to those games, unfortunately. Maybe one of them will be on TV that I can watch, or a couple of them will be, we'll see. But I never liked that. I was like, I wish the schedule would be a little bit different, where like during Christmas break, obviously there's gonna be home games here and there, but I wish instead of having like 5 straight home games, we had 5 straight away games during Christmas break. Obviously, the Aggies have a great fan base, the Conference USA and attendance last year at the games and all that. A lot of great older fans, there's a lot of great fans in general. But without that student section, like, it's just not the same. And I feel like the student section really helps out. Coach Huden even said that one time. I was talking to him about it, how the student section just impacts the team greatly. If it wasn't for us, he said we wouldn't have got that 23-point comeback against Western Kentucky last year. And I agree with him because we were just, cheering like crazy. That was the first game back from Christmas break as well. So imagine that game was during the break, they might not be able to get the win. And it's pretty rare 2 teams get like 3 straight home games, and we have 5. And I'm like, are you serious, bro? We can't have had that like during, like right after we get back, right before we go. Because then like first home game is November 4th, first game of the season. That's the first day of college basketball for everybody, pretty much. And then we have another home game that next week, that Thursday, the 14th. And I believe we don't have another home game until December 4th, so like 3 weeks later. And then like the rest of the next 5 home games that are straight are all during Christmas break. So for most people, they're not gonna be able to go to a game from like December 4th until like January 23rd or something, and that's conference right there. Like I said, hopefully I'm gonna be able to go to the December 16th, maybe the 19th game too, if I'm lucky, if I can stay a little bit extra longer. But I think the next home game is the 28th, and then the 2nd and 4th, start a conference. I believe our first couple home games, or first couple conference games are gonna be at home, which is nice. open up with Sam Houston at home, close out with them. Sam Houston seems to be our kryptonite, kind of like what I'd say Fresno State's looking like for our football team. Our football team got smacked this past weekend, 48-0. We lost them in the bowl game last year, 37-10. You know, a little bit of a newer team for both sides. Just weren't able to do a lot of great things. Our kicker's actually from Fresno State, so it would have been nice if he would have, you know, got revenge against his old team. He played there last year in the bowl, beat us, and then now he's on the other side of, you know, the spectrum where he's losing. Our quarterback's just not the greatest. Deuce Hogan looked a little bit better throwing the ball. He looked like he could throw the ball pretty far. None of receivers could catch, like Cordell David, probably our best receiver in my opinion, just couldn't catch. Again, know that this isn't a football video, but wanted to just talk about that a little bit. There was something else I wanted to say. I can't remember on the top of my head. Don't mind the bed. I was going to make my bed for the video, but I just said screw it, just threw it on the floor, so it looked a little bit nicer in the back instead of me taking more time to make it. Wouldn't have took that long at all. It just took like a couple minutes, but I'm lazy like that. I don't think I've also ever worn the shirt. The shirt's like, it's actually a small, so it makes me look a little stronger, maybe a little bit bigger than I actually am. But I haven't hit in the gym, so I feel like I deserve to wear it just to, you know, flex a little bit, show off a little bit. Yeah, I was gonna say something else, but really just can't remember what I was gonna say, so I think that's gonna close the video. I know it's a pretty quick one. We're not sure how long it is because I do different segments of the video. I always say it's a quick one, and since it's like 15 minutes, this one might be less than 10. I'm not even sure. We'll have to see what it is. See, you know, see what it is. I'm not sure where I was going with that. I want to talk about the schedule. Want to get this video out. I wasn't able to make the video yesterday. Super busy. Wasn't even gonna be able to make it today, but found some time right now, thankfully. You know, in college, sometimes things get canceled and you gotta, you know, do what you gotta do. And I want to make this video for you guys. Really appreciate you guys for watching, and I'm out.